That's a really great question. I would say that the most important piece of information to pass on is for that person to understand you have to listen to all of the feedback, all of the information you get in order to make a decision. And that decision has to be yours, knowing that you're making it for the best interest of the city. And what I mean by that is you're going to be receiving feedback from residents. And residents will be on both sides of issues. Normally you're going to have residents on both sides. One side may be louder than the other, but that doesn't diminish the value of the feedback from the other side. You're going to receive information from your city staff. You're going to receive information from the state level, the federal level, experts that are in the best knowledge of what project you're looking to make a decision on. All of that information is extremely important, and you have to weigh it to make the best decision for the city. And I think that's the most important element that I could pass on. You know, sometimes sharing the information that you have with constituents is really valuable if they have a concern. But a lot of times it's hard to get the constituents to actually come in and listen to the information. When you say, yeah, let's have coffee, let's go have lunch, or let's come to my office, whatever the case may be, you can't get them to make that. But when they do show up, then they're like, I didn't know. And they may leave with that new knowledge saying, now I get it, or I still have a concern. And that's perfectly okay. I know that people aren't always going to agree, but the person that follows needs to make sure that they make the best decision for the city of Maricopa based on all the information and what's best for the city. Yeah, that would be what I would pass on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, mine's kind of similar, but it's from a different take. And it's be flexible and embrace change. When people come to the city of Maricopa, this is even a 5-year time period. I kind of kid people that have been here 5 years or more. I say, you achieved pioneer status, congratulations, because there's so much more that's going to happen to the city of Maricopa in growth and change and morphing into different phases. Once we get to 100,000 people, the city's going to change and it's going to take on a little bit different chemistry. Once you're 150 to 200,000, and these numbers are very achievable, maybe not in my lifetime, but in the next resident's lifetime. And so just continue to be flexible, embrace change, because that is what
That's good.
the city of Maricopa and Pinal County and our communities are all about. Little communities today of Eloy and Coolidge are receiving great things that are happening in those communities. And in 5-10 years, they're going to look much different than what they do today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That it's not us against them. It's not us against nature. We're part of nature. That we are linked together, as I said. That that we can live side by side with natural environments, and that we are as much a part of the natural environment as a coyote is, or a coyote is just as important to the environment as we are, however you want to look at it. But I would love to see people really experience and live that. And if we did that, I think that we would be using, for example, fewer pesticides and herbicides, and we might eat a more plant-based diet. We might litter less. We might use more native vegetation than grass in our yards. We might have solar panels on our houses. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we can do. I think once you recognize that connection between us and the natural world. So that's my dream.
To me, that's an easy one. That's easier than the other questions. To me, that's the easiest one because we're always saying, be a servant to the community. And so as we pass on our organization and moving forward, and especially for the younger generations that are coming, is to be servants to the community. Because if you're grateful and you're able to pass that on and be able to pass on that compassion and about helping others and paying it forward, I think then we've done a good job.
Well, I think it would be the youth that all the connections I made during my time in the school board to project leadership and enthusiasm down to our students. The thing about the Future Voices is to inspire our young students to use their voice, to speak up. Being a leader is more than just about speaking up, but you do have a voice, and how you use it is what's best. And to be a leader, you got to know how to promote yourself, and that's what Future Voices is about: is using your voice to be a leader. I'd like Future Voices to continue. To project myself down 20 years down the road, I hope I live 20 more years. But all this artwork for Eloy icons, I love preserving history, and I think that's what's good about the architecture is trying to preserve some of that history. But my time serving my community through my schools is what I'm probably most proud of.
It's funny you ask that question because it's the cliche, which I have never really appreciated. People say, "Gee, that's a great question." It gives them time to think of the answer. But I have always felt I want to pass along a work ethic to the next generation. I want them to understand that this doesn't all happen by magic. It's an ethic that is instilled in people. Some people get it from their parents, some people get it from their first jobs that they have and so forth. And we hire some young people along the way that we use as bar backs and different parts of the community here. And the idea is to have them leave here with that work ethic that somebody else is going to appreciate and take advantage of. So I think that's the big thing that I would like to leave the next generation.
Awesome.
Love your neighbor. Seriously, because if you can't love your neighbor, you can't love much anything else. Because you see your neighbor all the time. It's love your neighbor. Yeah. I don't even think you can love yourself if you can't love somebody that you know, other than you.
Just to be true to yourself, because you don't need to try to be like anyone else. God made us all individually. He made us all different, but we're all the same. There's no reason to compete with anyone. Also, we no matter where you are, where you've been, where you're going, we're all the same. We just may look different, but we all the same. And like myself, my children, I have a daughter and 3 sons and 1 adopted daughter. My 4 children are military, but you just have to go out and be yourself. And with me, I have 12 grandchildren And I do have an international household. I have children from the Philippines, from Germany, from Puerto Rico. So regardless of where you're from, we're all God's people. And we need to treat each other the way we want to be treated. So just be you and let God do what he can with you. Just serve him and let him help you be the best for you.
Oh my gosh, I went a couple different routes with where during that question where you might end up, and that's a tricky one. You know, my go-to response is self-deprecation, and I love making fun of myself. And you know, so I think luckily for whoever comes in, they will have a low bar to jump over. They will have low expectations because it'll be easy to surpass what I have done here. So you know, I think in this role for this organization, for what we want to do, surrounding myself with good people has been the best thing I've done. And so, you know, we have grown in my time from 1 club and 12 staff to 8 clubs and over 50 staff. And so, you know, I used to be able to be much more involved day to day with everything, and now it's it just can't be that way. We don't have the bandwidth, and we would struggle if we were dependent on that. So. Our board is phenomenal. They've got us. They helped us navigate us through 20 years of growth. The last 4 years of day-to-days changing. Our staff. So many days over the last couple of years have been, how do we survive today? You know, and just what do we need to do to get through today? And it's fun to be at a point now where we can ask some bigger picture questions and get back to, it feels normal, in air quotes, right? And so we have great people in the right spots. We have great partners, we have great supporters. We appreciate our relationship with you guys and giving us this platform today, right? And so I think that would be the one. Just surround yourself with great people and let them do what they're good at and get out of the way a lot of the time. So
that basically the secret of success is not worrying about who gets the credit. The secret is to how do I phrase it? I wish I had it, because I did have a clear on my desk. It was a Ronald Reagan quote.
Oh, really?
And it was basically, don't worry about who gets the credit, just get the job done. It doesn't matter who gets the credit, because we all win by it. So, and I kind of formed my leadership style by that. A lot of things we've accomplished here wasn't because of ideas I got. It was because of the ideas that the rest of my staff had. And I don't have an ego to where it's got to be mine. It's got to be my idea. I did this, I did that. And I want the command staff, the new chief coming in, and the officers to have own this place and not worry about who's going to get the credit. Because at the end of the day, when we succeed, it makes us all look good. Everybody gets the credit. So don't worry about who gets the credit. Just throw the seed out there and let it grow.
That's a big question. There are things here that are more important than things we focus on every single day. In the Park Service and the government, they call a site like, they refer to a site like this as having significance, and or refer to it as even national significance. This site, this area, is a piece of our country's history, but it's a piece of people's history. And I think that we can get locked into every day, waking up, going to work, doing our job, having our goals for our life and for our family. this is a place that you put everything else down and you walk into and you respect it for what it is. And you respect the idea that it's still here for you to see. So when I hang up my hat, I hope that that people are still coming here with that thought, with that idea, that there are still places to go. There are still places to go where you set down your phone, where you put aside all the distractions and you look at what's right in front of you and you accept what's there, and you learn from it. And there's always something that can be learned from a place like this and kept in mind as we move forward into the future.
It would be stay true to your integrity. Stay true to your integrity and make it about the community. Don't forget what it's really about. That's what I would say. Don't get lost in the sport. Make it about the community. Stay to your integrity.
Perfect. Kelly Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.